We're back for another episode of Not Cool in High School Horror with ABJ. We're going to be doing a movie here. You see it in the thumbnail, Y2K. So I have a little bit of a different format or how I'm going about doing things anymore. So I'm going to try it out with you guys. Let me know what you think with the new style of content. I'm going to have guests on here. I just want to record a bunch of them. So full disclosure, it is February the 5th as I'm recording this. I'm going to try to record at least one every single day and just kind of put them out once a week just to build up a little backlog of content for a while. I might sneak some newer ones in between episodes, so if it looks like something's recorded or not, or maybe I try to be just full disclosure with these. But I'm welcoming guests on to do these, trying this new format out a little bit myself before I go into it. If you have a suggestion for a movie, please put it in the below. But I want a huge shout out to my boy Alex, who hooks me up with his Voodoo account that I add movies, he adds movies, and we collectively do that. I think there's somebody else involved with it too, but that's just how we do it. I don't know if that's against the terms of service. Don't come at us. But this movie's going to be Y2K. Not Chris Jericho. I know I do a lot of wrestling content, but that's not what this is. So it is going to be on the last night of 1999, two high school juniors crash a New Year's Eve party only to find themselves fighting for their lives with when the terror of Y2K becomes a reality and all the machines rise up against humanity. So I'm going to watch the trailer real quick. I'll be right back. And we will. I'll tell you what I think of the trailer and what I expect of this movie, and if I think I'm gonna like it or not. So we'll be right back. All right, so I just watched the trailer. I can't tell if it takes place in Australia. They do have accents. Some people did, some people didn't. So maybe just characters in the movie are from other places. I don't know. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know this just looking at it, but Jonah Hill is one of the producers because as I'm watching this, it felt like old school, like Super Bad meets like Gremlins or Short Circuit. Like it was very, I don't know. It looks like a really fun timepiece movie. So essentially, yeah, all the machines take over on Y2K and it fucks up this giant party. So why I picked it, I'm going through my list of movies and I'm trying to go by ones that are somewhat new, but not too new or too old. And it just kind of jumped out at me. Y2K, I remember being, obviously around at that time and everything was always like, is it going to be a thing? Is it going to be spooky? What's going to happen? So I don't know, I kind of picked it. And it's a horror comedy. I am going to be watching this with Lily. She's not amazing with horror yet, so I kind of want to ease her in with some horror content, and I felt like a horror comedy would be a fun way to kind of bring it back to the horror, to the Not Cool in High School, doing that mix. But I'd never heard of this movie. I don't remember seeing the trailer. I don't remember really anything about it. I've been kind of like shut in when it comes to like newer pop culture stuff, which I'm hoping this content drives me back into it. But this is something I normally would consume. This is horror comedies are right up my alley. I love comedies. I love horror. I love when they come together. But probably my favorite, if it's not horror comedy, I do also like the slasher movies. They're definitely some of my favorite when it comes to the horror genre. And my first expectations that I think I'm probably gonna like this movie. It looks super goofy, a lot of cool movie references in the movie, a lot of cool throwbacks to older 90s, early 2000s-ish stuff, which is a lot of fun. And I don't know, I'm pretty pumped about it. I think right away, looking at the trailer and going through everything, I'm pretty excited. So I'm gonna let you guys go here. I'm gonna go watch the movie, and I'm gonna come back with some things I liked, some things I didn't like, and how I would recommend this movie to you. So we'll be back in a moment. All right, so we just watched the movie. I'm gonna go for the few likes and dislikes I like, but the beginning of this is gonna be completely spoiler free. And then once I get a little bit, I will put up like, hey, spoiler coming, and everything from that point on, I will be spoiling the movie completely for the most part. I'm not gonna go scene by scene and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that. But just overall, let me pull up my little new checklist that I'm kind of going by until I develop my little flow. I wanted to get over, first off, overall impressions, right? I really like this movie. I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very fun watch. Some really fun actors in it. Some really cool surprises that show up. But first and foremost, the nostalgia aspect of this movie. Like, the lingo they use, the things that they're doing, the old AOL internet and the away messages and the music they use and like the clothing style in the movie was all fucking awesome, right? So like, I don't know, Y2K, I was middle school, just getting into high school, maybe I don't remember, probably not, because I don't know, because when they said the end of the movie happened later, it was 2005, and I'm just graduating high school around that time, so I always suck with my younger timelines. Another thing I'm not too amazing at here either is character names. So like I watch a movie and I don't know anyone's names of their characters. I don't know, is that a thing that anyone else does? Let me know below. But I definitely struggle with that. So some things I like. The nostalgia aspect. The burned CD. He burns the CD in the movie and he like writes Y2K, and I was like, he better write mix, because then when you made your CDs back then, you always wrote mix. Also in the comments below, let me know some of your best mixtapes and your best names for your mixes. So mine were like genre based, so like hip hop mix, rock mix, 90s mix, 80s mix. Trying to think of other mixes. Like at the Firehouse, we had a Firehouse CD mix. I used to draw on them a lot too. Or you make a mix for a girl, like, hey, this is your mixtape. They were some of my go-tos. But yeah, then he had a Jansport backpack. I haven't had my first Jansport item until, unfortunately, like a year or two ago. But the Jansport backpack with the rubber sole that looks like a sneaker bottom, he was rocking it in this movie, and I fucking always wanted one of those. I don't even know if they still make them, to be honest with you. But this movie also gave me really, really big, like, American Pie / Superbad vibes. I said that at the beginning, but definitely in the very beginning, it definitely feels that way. And then it has, like, a very Short Circuit vibe, right? Like the old, if you ever seen Short Circuit, maybe we'll do a review of that down the road. But yeah, it was really, really well done. It was almost Stranger Things vibe-ish too, the way they really made it feel like a timepiece. There was nothing there that looked like it shouldn't have been out of place, or looked like, oh, I was trying to find something that maybe they didn't have or they messed up with, but it looked all pretty legit. I will say too, the animatronics or lack thereof for the movie. So I think there was some moments where there was actual robots walking around, but I think for the most part it was people in suits. I could be wrong, but like they looked good. They looked super cool. I like the way they did practical effects, and I think it really did a good job of breaking down like social construct and barriers in this movie. Like the punk alt-right kids, like it made everyone have a place, and it when you were watching it, for me at least, it was like, oh, that person reminds me of this person when I grew up, or I remember being in that crowd, or wishing I was in this crowd, or hating the popular people because of XYZ. And then it kind of told that story from the popular kid side of, like, I don't know, they did a really good job. And I think that's where like A24 definitely knocks it out of the park. Maybe they're woke, I don't know. But no, they do a good job of like breaking that down and making everyone kind of have their own angle, instead of just being like everyone's the enemy. Everyone kind of has their own bullshit they're dealing with. I thought that was done really well. I will say maybe myself and Lily were talking about this. I was hoping she would have stayed in the room. I could have bounced off her off camera, but one of the things she brought up is maybe took too long to get to the horror aspect of the movie. It plays out for almost like 25-30 minutes of being like a 90s, 2000s, like teen movie, right? And I liked it. Honestly, that movie could have just kept going in the direction it was going without the horror, and I would have probably still very much enjoyed it. It brought, like I said, it brought me back to a time when times were funny. Like, you look back at it now when you're a kid and you're the worst times of your life, but as an adult looking back, you think, wow, that's pretty entertaining that I was thinking that way. I don't want to say if this is a spoiler or not. Maybe we'll get, yeah, I'll just kind of do it from here on out. So, there was a moment, this isn't really a spoiler, I'm just kind of thinking some other things that stood out for me. There was some moments in the movie too where they were downloading pornographic images on the internet, and it's taking forever to load, and you get to like the boob and you're like, oh my god, look at, there it is. That was pretty funny. The phrases and catches and the lingo they used was really, really funny. And there's a part of the movie where he tries to fit in with other people and he tells an embarrassing story of his friend, And I grew up in a small school that if you were the kid who fucking puked in the class in 3rd grade, like you were the kid who puked in the class till you graduated high school. And I remember just you had a nickname for somebody, even if it was something like way back from like fucking 1st grade. You're like, oh, you never shake it. And they kind of do that in the movie a little bit too. So that kind of brought me back. So that was fun too. But overall, man, I really, really like this movie. At a scale of 1 to 5, I'm gonna give it. You got to protect the 4. 4s are really, really hard to get. 5s are perfect movies. But I think this is a 3. I think this is a good watch. I would watch it. Would it be something I always go back to? I'm not 100% sure. It's a movie that I watched once, maybe twice, show somebody else it, but I don't know if it's something I'd religiously watch. But overall, I thought it was really, really fun. I definitely recommend other people watching it. And yeah, so I'm going to take a quick pause real quick, and then I'll come back for some spoiler versions or things in the movie. So let me know in the comment what you thought of it, and we'll go from there and go on to the next part. I'm back. All right, so the reason why I stopped is my mom came up and she's fucking staring at me while I'm trying to record. It was throwing me off. So I had to talk to her, and then I told her to fuck off, and now here we are. Love you, Mom. All right, we're back. So spoilers from here on out. Jesus Christ. The last I'll do that's like a spoiler. Fred Durst makes a surprise appearance in this movie. So the whole time they're talking, like the one kid's wearing the red hat and they're talking about Korn and Limp Bizkit and all that stuff. And then he makes an appearance as himself, as Fred Durst, which was fucking awesome. So some dislikes that I had in the movie. I feel like the character, I have them pulled up here, Ash and Garrett. Like, I didn't really like them most of the movie, right? Like, Danny and CJ were definitely... Danny and Farkas were definitely... it was Ash and CJ were the ones I wasn't really connected with, not Garrett. But Danny and Farkas are the two, like, comic reliefs, funny, kind of drove the scene characters. And they kill them off back to back, like in 2 really dramatic fashion scenes where like the group is kind of divided. Like it's 2 friend groups who don't really like each other, and they have to become friends to survive, but they still don't like each other. So you have that dynamic of the whole movie of them trying to find their friendship. But it took 2 really powerful characters on each side. They killed them immediately together, like in 2 different fashions. One really, really stupidly, and one kind of like it fits the movie. But then I was like, man. Then they had this whole scene between Ash and CJ that I was kind of like, I wasn't really into. And I was like, man, I think they killed off the wrong characters. Like, these characters aren't grabbing me. But they do. So it's like a dislike at the moment. But later on, maybe you guys can relate to this also. Like, Ash and CJ, they won me over. Like, by the end of the movie, you're super... I like them a lot. I hope I'm saying it's CJ. Maybe Garrett. Wait, Garrett was he was the older, the video store guy. So yeah, I was right. I believe it's CJ. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had like a coughing fit there. But yeah, CJ's the kid that I was talking about earlier. I kind of had them mixed up. Kid Leroy is in this movie. I heard of Kid Leroy. I don't really know much about him. Alicia Silverstone is one of the parents in the movie. I'm trying to think of other people. Kyle Mooney is also in it. He was the video store dude. And Mason Gooding, who was, I watching it, I was like, who the fuck's that guy? He looks familiar. He was the cool older twin brother in the Scream movies. The main kid that plays Eli looks like the kid from Stranger Things, but it's not. It's the kid from It. You get people. Lily got kind of confused with that. And Rachel Zelger, who played Laura, like gives strong Jenny Ortega vibes. Like the whole time I was watching, I was like, oh, this could have been Jenny Ortega's role, or this could have been something she could have been in. And Rachel kind of seems like in the movie world, like, oh, if you can't cast one, you can cast the other type deal. But yeah, like I was saying before, the movie lost a little bit of its flow when the 2 best characters kind of got killed off. And the only other scene that I thought was like dumb, but I guess it was part of the comedy aspect. I don't think it was meant to be, but it kind of made me laugh. But like when Eli like announces to the room that Danny dies, he doesn't like, he knows the mom's there, and he like makes this giant speech about his dead friend. Like the mom has no idea, and she, like that's how she finds out, is like a full room full of people, like her kid's dead. I thought that was kind of fucked up. But Yeah, I don't know. So what I'm going to do here for the last part of this video, and then we're going to get out of here, is I already gave my scale. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed it. I would recommend this to people. I think other people should watch it. And I'm just going to kind of go through some fun facts on IMDb, maybe some things about it that you wouldn't know. So here we go. Some trivia or do you know stuff, or maybe even some goofs here we'll pull up. So the first little trivia thing, Jenny Ortega was originally cast as Laura, but due to scheduling conflicts to the film, she couldn't do it, and she was replaced with Rachel. There it is. I literally just said that, did not know that was a thing. Alicia Silverstone and Jaden also starred in the movie Lodge. I'm not sure what the Lodge is, but maybe it's another A24 bit, or from the producers or something work with them before. Out of the main cast, Mason, Aguardo were alive in the events of the film. Gooding was 3 years old and Franco was 5. Miles Robinson, who played Nugs, was 7. Daniel was born about a month and a half after the film events. So the kids in the movie weren't even old enough to know about Y2K, except 2 of them. So the VTech branded, so here's some with some errors in the movie. The VTech brand landline cordless phone shown in Soccer Chris's parents' bedroom on December 31st, 1999 was not made until late 2010. So they got him. I was looking for stuff like that and I couldn't think of any, but there's one. And the 5950 cap that Ash is wearing throughout the movie has a New Era logo embroidered on the side of the hat. That was not added to the MLB hats till 2016. Oh no! At the party, Danny sings the Thong Song by Cisco. However, it's December 1st, 1999, and the song wasn't released until February 15th, 2000. While the single of the Thong Song was wasn't released till 2000. The album Unleash the Dragon that it contained in was released on November 1999, meaning so it was possible for the song to be played throughout the course of the movie. I was talking to Lily about that too, like a little nostalgia thing. Like, I remember the thong song being a huge thing and not seeing my first thong on a girl until much, 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 much later. I was like, man, I can't wait to see my first girl in a thong. I had to wait a while. I was still very young when the thong song was coming, and no one was rocking thongs at that point. That was definitely not a thing. So there's a whole bunch of movies that they mess up into, like they put VHS movies in the thing, and some of them shouldn't have been released yet. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun things. Ooh, there you go. So here's one big plot hole too. She's walking around with a USB thumb drive, and that would have been impossible because the first commercial thumb drive wasn't sold until the 2000s, and it would have been very expensive at the time. So there's your little plot hole. That's the only little did you know facts about it. I'm gonna, like, once again, it didn't ruin the aspect of the movie at all for me. The music was fun. The moments were fun. Even Wes Borland had a little appearance in the movie. You were told he was like dead or he was blowing off the stage, but a little later, like, he has like they don't really do anything else with him. He just kind of is there for a moment, and then that's it. But yeah, definitely go check it out. I fucking love this movie. A24. I realize I'm watching a lot of A24 films lately, like, especially when it comes to like horror comedy, and I don't hate it. I like them a lot. So there's more I have to check out. So I do have a list of some horror movies that you're probably gonna see very, very soon. So if I don't do them in order, don't bark at me, because, you know, it's a lot. But I have Nosferatu on the list. I have Heretic, which is on the list. Smile 2, Terrifier 3. I'll be going back to hang out with Courtney to do that one. There's one here called The Last Straw. The Substance is a drama horror. Lily did watch it. I seen like her watch it. She didn't seem to like it. Maybe that won't be on the list. Don't Turn Off the Lights is one on here. Yeah, so there's a few different horror movies that are on this list. If there's one that you think I should do, here's some older ones that I wanted to do but I haven't had a chance to. Longlegs is on there. This movie called Oddity looks really cool. A Quiet Place I want to go back and do. The Exorcism with Russell Crowe is on my list. The Strangers Part 1 is there. There's a few that I didn't get a chance to cover that I definitely want to go back and do. So we do have a laundry list of horror movie to cover. Not so much horror, but I don't know if I'll do it under. It's sci-fi. I don't know if I don't know. We'll figure it out. But a lot of cool movies coming up. If there's anything you think I should do, let me know in the comment section. Thank you, and we're back. Not Cool in High School Horror. I'll be back for the next one. Also, t-shirt today. Fright Rags. Definitely go and support Fright Rags. I love them to death. They make great horror merch. Also in the comments, sorry I'm making you guys type so much, but I just want to communicate with y'all. Let me know your favorite horror brands or t-shirts. I know there's like Cavity Crunch, or I forget what the hell they're called, Cavity Horror or something. But I personally like Fright Rags when I have money to buy t-shirts. But let me know where you get your horror merch and swag. If you have any cool horror collecting things, and if you do get them, I know there's a bunch on my list as well. I want to get a bunch of NECAs. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. We'll see you next time with the next movie. Until then, ABJ, out of here.